Hey friends, welcome back to another video, and I hope you're having a fantastic start to the year 2023. In today's video, I'm going to share 3 things that I have incorporated into my routine that have drastically changed my life. So let's get into it. I was listening to an episode of the podcast Feel Better, Live More, which is by Dr. Ranjan Chatterjee, and he was in conversation with Dr. Ayan Panja, who is a general practitioner based in the UK, and he's the author of the book The Health Fix: How to Transform Your Health in 8 weeks. Early on through the podcast, Dr. Panja explains to the listeners that there are these 3 things that he does consistently on an everyday basis that have drastically changed his life and subsequently over time have had a deep and long-lasting impact on his health. Dr. Panja mentions that he practices this on a day-to-day basis every day, and he does this twice a day, once before heading into work and once before coming back from work. You just take that minute to recharge, and I do this myself. It is a little bit difficult for me because there is no physical separation between work and home, but I still try to do this every single day. When I take a minute just before starting work, I'm able to switch into work mode where I'm really deeply focusing on work and what are the tasks related to work. And then when I stop working and when I decide to log out for the day, I don't just immediately shut my laptop off and get off. I just shut my laptop and I just take a moment take 1 minute, and just de-stress completely before I begin the next part of the day. So I think I'm going to continue to do this daily, and of course more updates will follow on what this habit gets me in the long term. The second is hydration. Now, Dr. Panja explains that hydration is so important, and specifically in my case, when I found that I was being very lazy and not drinking enough water, it just all made so much sense. Personally, I found that I was really lazy just to get up and get a glass of water every time I felt thirsty. It was just so easy for me to ignore. But then I started putting myself into a habit of carrying a water bottle and just always having next to me, and also just putting coasters on every single surface that I think would hold a glass. And just seeing that empty coaster sort of just made me think that maybe I need enough water, or maybe I should drink a glass of water. Third thing that Dr. Panja mentions in his podcast is sleeping and waking up at the same time every day. So this sleeping at the same time every day and waking up at the same time every day has honestly been the hardest thing to incorporate into my routine. There are times when I miss my usual sleeping time of around 10:30 or 11 by half an hour or just past that. And there are just so many factors to it, and it's genuinely the hardest thing to do. And I'm finding myself could take baby steps there, because on the days when I actually do sleep early and get up early, I'm able to have the best day possible where I find time to really do everything that I have planned for and more. Those kind of days are significantly better than the day where I just choose to sleep in down and having a gradual end towards the day, where then I'm able to sleep on time, and then of course the next day starts off with a bang. So of course sleeping on time and waking up at the same time has been the hardest thing to incorporate into my routine, but I see the point in it, and these are the 3 things that I felt I could really incorporate into my routine. And the third thing was literally the hardest thing ever. So it's a constant process. I'm not saying that I'm going to be perfect or I'm going to be able to sleep on time every day, but I'm definitely going to try and make an effort into minimizing the activities that come right before bed and take care of them throughout the day rather than just pushing them off. So if you want to listen to the full version of this podcast, I will definitely link it in the description. I've tried to summarize the 3 things that were really applicable to me and what I could incorporate into my routine, but I would really recommend you listening to that podcast throughout its length, and this small change can affect your life in such a big way that every other activity that you do becomes that much more enjoyable. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you took some value out of it. And if you do listen to the full version of the podcast, please let me know in the comments what you learned. I'm going to leave you with my current reading list and some movies that I have watched very recently, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.